Right, this is pretty exciting. Today we are opening up the brand new Machina box set. It's been a long time coming. Let's get into it. All right, first a little context. The Smashing Pumpkins have been releasing deluxe box sets for a while now. They started with, I have the Gish box set here. I'm not sure which videos I've already done a review on and which I haven't, but so Gish was their very first album. And Siamese Dream followed that. So I have that box set, which again, these are all CD box sets, which I absolutely love. When we get to Machina, they actually released it on vinyl only, at least for now. So we'll talk about that. And after Siamese Dream, we have, this one's unopened, but it is the CD box set with the DVD and all that stuff. So I want to do a video on this one. But I have that box set, and if they're sealed, I already had, they're duplicate copies that I'm just kind of saving to open for a video. And, well, I guess we had Pisces Iscariot after Siamese Dream, right? So sort of some B-sides and that sort of thing. So, but I have that box set. And then came Adore, right? So another great box set, love that one. And I guess I should say one that I'm missing is I have the Airplane Flies High. This is a box, but this is not the box set. And I just have not ever pulled the trigger. I've been watching the prices for years and I just have never done it. I've never bought the DVD deluxe box set of the Airplane Flies High. And so that is high up on my want list, but lately he's been putting out so many albums and, you know, kind of expensive stuff that's where my money's been going, is the new releases, you know, the big autumn box set, which I've covered here, and then now the Machina box set. So I do have the original Machina album / record, right? It's on CD. I don't have Machina 2, and it was never an official release, and I think this was it Virgin? I'm not sure who else. Virgin in collaboration with someone, but Virgin, the one who put it out, and they didn't put out Machina 2. And Billy did release that for free on album, gave it to fans and a couple of people and said, hey, rip this, throw it up online for free. So I did have access to it back in the day. I owned bootlegged, you know, ripped CDs of it, but never anything official until today's, well, not today's, but I finally got the box set release. So let's go ahead and open up this giant big boy here and see what we got, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Machina. Now this is called the, I'm not sure how to say it, the Arena Alba Edition. Essentially that's in Latin, it translates to Spyder Whyte Edition. Whyte Spyder was the name of a track on Machina 2. So I'm not sure what the connection is of why it was named that. Obviously, we'll see here on the cover is a giant white spider. All right, so we have some big foam padding. This is kind of like all the releases, kind of a little postcard, little Madame Zuzu's sticker. Now this is released exclusively through Madame Zuzu's, and we'll talk about that as we go along here, but officially the record company, and that's kind of the big delay on that, is the record company did not want to put this out, so Billy kind of had to go through the expense and put this out himself. So he did that through his personal tea house, right? His record company. And there it is. Wow. It is a hefty fellow. Arena Alba Edition, Smashing Pumpkins. Now, I ordered the marbled vinyl. It was a little more. Pre-ordered it. I don't know how long ago. It was a long, long time ago. There was some kind of mix-ups, and there was a lot of delays. Some people were getting black vinyl. Hopefully, I don't have the black vinyl. Hopefully, I have the colored, but I'm not sure what they do for the people. But, yeah, this is 8 albums. So there's quite a few in here. And yeah, there we go. Machina, I guess maybe I should show it this way. As you can see it, and I'm not sure how much glare is on there. So it was funny when I kind of was looking this up and looking up, a little information about Whyte Spyder from the Smashing Pumpkins. AI was gaslighting me a little bit. They were telling me that Whyte Spyder doesn't appear in any Smashing Pumpkins songs. There's no lyrics with Whyte Spyder. And so it was funny that, AI, right? Blatantly wrong, because I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I know this song. I've listened to Whyte Spyder quite a bit over the years, again, from Machina 2. So it is absolutely a song, and just a funny little anecdote of AI being wrong. So here's the spine of it. Very cool. All right, Whyte Spyder. So this box set is a convergence of both Machina 1 and Machina 2. So Machina 1, The Machines of God, and Machina 2, The Friends and Enemies of Modern Music. Gotta love those. But Billy wanted to release it, like not Siamese Dream, Melancholy as a double album. And for whatever reason, they didn't want to do that. So they put out, half of it, and it was kind of unfinished. And so he released the other half. Songs weren't completely finished, some demo type stuff, but he released it anyway. But this supposedly is his kind of ultimate vision. Now, he didn't get a chance to, finish everything in studio, right? So there's some like rough edits he cobbled together. There's some re-recording, some remixing, but this is kind of the list as he intended it. And what he sees as a finished album, but not quite finished album, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and cut into this before we discuss any more. I'm looking for a good spot to cut into this without ruining it. So it was EMI, which I guess was somehow own version or whatever, but they sold the rights to Universal Music. And so Billy had the contract with EMI to release it, and obviously when it came time to re-release it, after the other albums I showed, when it came time for this, Universal didn't want to do that. They're like, hey, we'll release Machina 1, but not this new combined thing, right? And kind of makes sense. I mean, Machina 2 wasn't part of the original release, so they're like, well, why are we re-releasing everything together? But I guess it was in Billy's contract with them, with EMI, which would carry over, that he could release it however he wanted. Now, if you look at Machina 1 and 2, there was 15 songs and then 14 songs, and that's 29. You go, hey, well, why is there now 48 songs? Well, again, that's just kind of what he saw as the finished product. All right, let's slide these guys out of here. I know some people have not, little mark on there. Some people have not liked the artwork. It's kind of simple, right? It's cool. It's just not the artwork of the original. And then there's kind of some dispute over, the original artwork. I guess the artist took this art and sold it copies or reprints to other people. And Billy's like, I thought that was exclusively for my album, right? For my stuff. Why are you reselling the artwork of Machina? And so there's a little squabble over that. He says he'd shake his hand today, but he's like, I'm not working with that guy. So thus we have the new artwork for Machina. So going back to it being a finished/unfinished work, it's kind of complicated because he said there's a lot of songs that are remixed from masters or they're remixed from copies. There's some that were kind of pieced together. Some, he did actually a little re-recording of. There's some that are kind of demos. There's songs in here where really only one take ever existed. So that's why it's incomplete. And he just took the best of what he could and put it together, remixed, remastered, and did what he can to do the best of what he can. he kind of explained it like this, as in some songs sound like $1 million, right? In the studio, everything's perfected. The next song is more like a Polaroid, and some are more like a Xerox, right? The kind of deterioration or the layers down. But the music is all there, and it kind of tells the story of what Billy was looking to achieve. Let's see here. Machina. Start off with Deluxe Machina. Never knew how to say that. Stay inside your love, Eye of the Morning. We have all of the lyrics. I guess this is zodiac signs. I'm not really familiar with that kind of stuff. Wound. Glass theme. Raindrops and sun showers. And then it ends with Glass and the Ghost Children. And let's see if we got the right one. The big reveal. We have the marbled version. So Martha's music. So as I was saying, everything has now been released from the 90s catalog, but now he owns all the music going forward. So it shouldn't be any delays or problems. He can kind of release it as he sees fit, because he, was wise enough, or had gone through enough of the ringer from the major label companies, that he now owns everything. So there's the 2 vinyls in here. Oh, I guess I pulled out the one. I guess I should pull out the other one, show you the artwork there. I'm not used to these double-sleeved albums. There's the track listing. Again, looking for the CD version eventually. Now, it kind of makes sense. I know a lot of fans have kind of complained, hey, where's the CD version? Why isn't this for free, right? Because CD's digital. If it came out in CD, people would just rip it and then send lossless quality everywhere, right? So it's one thing if it's a major label doing that, but he is investing in this himself. He has to put it out himself. He has to recoup the cost, make some money and profit. I don't begrudge him any of that. So this kind of model makes sense, where he makes his money on the vinyl, and then eventually he actually has a deal that the label will put it on streaming services. And my guess is once it's out digitally, there's nothing preventing them. They'll put it out on CD, and I will pick it up then. So, which is, if you've been part of his archive release, you've seen that they come out on record after a year or whatever, the sales slow down, or a lot of these are limited edition. So once they're sold out, then they can put it out on CD. So we start off volume 2 with Real Love, Floating Voice. This album, it took me a while to warm up to it, right? It's very different, and there's a lot of distortion, and it's different sounding, but it's become one of my favorites, like a lot of fans. There's something about it. The melodies are still there. It's just a great album. Let's get these a little stuck in there. I think I pulled out the correct one this time. Well, I guess I should show you the back first. You know what this means? I certainly don't. I'm not going to pull it all the way out. So yeah, I get the model. You got to make your money off of the vinyl release from the hardcore fans, and then we can go down to CD. Otherwise, the music's distributed, and what's the purpose of anyone buying it, right? I don't know. The hardcore fan like me, I would probably still buy it, but I wouldn't buy it on vinyl. I'm a CD collector, right? As much as I love this, I don't know if I'll keep this long term. Well, I mean, I've got it now, so I will, but I do have a handful of records from them. And again, still no record player. Now I have heard this. There are ways you can find it online, but you know, again, that's not supportive of the artist. And obviously, me buying this, I am a supporter of the artist. I want him to keep putting out the music. The days of Spotify are over. Age of Innocence. Let me give the world to you. That's interesting. The different takes on that, right? That was only in Machina 2, I believe, and just one version of it. We've heard so many different versions of it. Ends with Machina theme. I guess we'll pull these out real quick. See the art on it. A little sticky. Volume 3. Okay. I'm not going to pull out the record itself. Volume 3. Can't even read this. And then lastly, we have Volume 4. Does he name these? No, they're not named separately. Just different art. Like Rainy Day Song, Lucky 13, I'm guessing Machina 2 version, Saturnine M2 version, and we have the Imploding Voice Pumpkinland demo, Without You, Sadlands demo. So this is kind of the odds and ends, right? On the album. Oh, then we actually have some, I was hoping for something that he was kind of writing. So it looks like we have an essay here. Try to get it on screen, and you want to capture that. Freeze frame the video. Go back and read that. So I'm guessing this is more to where Glass is told that Juna is overdosed on a midnight occurring. A little poetic. The story. So I'm excited to read through that. And then we jump to chapter 7, the end. I think that says the end. But yeah, so our story draws its final close, 1,000,000 miles and a few smiles and a pocket full of tears. Yeah, I can't, pillar of, you know, I'm not great at reading this. So there's the complete track listing. Oh, wow. 80 songs. Age of Innocence acoustic demo. So yeah, this is, you know, a deluxe edition. It has his kind of merged album Machina 1 and 2 together as he originally envisioned it, plus all the normal, you know, deluxe stuff that you would have. So a lot of cool stuff in there. And some liner notes. He was saying that, yeah, they're all messed up, like who they're engineered by, who they're mastered by, you know, the mixing, they're just, it's so convoluted because it, you know, just the process of getting this done. But it's very cool that we did get it done. Pull out the final pieces here. And as I mentioned, since he owns everything, I guess next up, as far as the Smashing Pumpkins go, would be, so there's the art for that, would be Zeitgeist. But he's been doing it on his live streams. I think he's doing all of this music. And so Zwan is what he's talking about now as far as going through the track list and everything. So I think I must have missed it, but I'm pretty sure that this is what's he's gonna be working on next as far as releasing the box set for. So I love Zwan and Dolly Zwan, all the acoustic stuff. So I'm looking forward to that box set. which I believe this was 2003. And so it looks like now that he's got all the 90s stuff done and out, as far as, you know, deluxe box sets, he can move on to his stuff. So he owns one. He's going to do what he wants with it. And then I would assume he would then, maybe he won't do his stuff that he put out under his own name, but as far as chronological, 2005, The Future Embrace would come next. If, you know, again, I don't know if that's the plans. I haven't heard that from him. I catch most of his, you know, I'm part of his Substack, and love that stuff. A lot of behind the scenes and cool information, but I don't know if he's talked about kind of the release stuff, but my guess, it looks like Zwan's coming next. This would be my guess. And then as far as we would then go back to the Smashing Pumpkins Zeitgeist, where it's under the Smashing Pumpkins name, but it's him and Billy that did it. The rest of the original band wasn't there. I've got a couple. I love this version of the CD. So I had to get this, you know, with this release, they did all kinds of different colors and stuff like that. But anyway, this is not a video about Zeitgeist or the other things. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm going to have to read through these liners now. Let me put this back in here. But super excited for this. And I'll be really excited. Again, I'm listening to it, even though I don't have a record player. But I don't know. I mean, when you rip stuff from a record, I don't know. But I am certainly looking forward to it. I think it will eventually make its way to CD. But there you go. The Arena Alba Edicio show, or the Spyder Whyte edition.